Rich, this is your swing for March 26th, 2019. Good posture. Like the flat back, hands are, below the shoulders. All looks good. The shaft angle is nice. So the setup is good. Yeah, and the chin's up. So that you get good grades on the setup. When you take it back, and so, like I said before we started recording, the idea is to keep the shaft on plane or parallel to these yellow lines, because when you come back to hit it, it's got to be right on that line to hit it. If you break the plane and don't get back on it, you're going to top it or whip it or something else. So each time you break plane, that's a movement that you don't need. And then there's a compensating movement. So those are two movements you don't really need. It makes your swing more complicated. So if you have 3 movements that get you off plane, it's like 6 movements. So that it's very hard to time those compensating movements and all, as opposed to just like Praneeth turns his back to the target, belt buckle to the target, all on plane. So the first move here, you drag it inside. See, here's the shaft. It's a blur, but it's like 90 degrees off plane. Now, we'll go through and identify things that you might want to look at to fix, but the swing overall is a very good swing. I mean, that's why you're such a good player. It's a good swing. It's just these extra movements are causing the inconsistency. So you may be hitting it perfectly 4 times out of 10. We ought to get it 9 times out of 10. But because we're taking a editor red pen to this, and there'll be some things that you may want to think about changing, but don't get the feeling that it's a bad swing. No, probably eight components are perfect. So at this point, here's a shaft. You're 90 degrees off, and this is where it should be.
You mean 90 degrees?
To the plane line, plane angle, swing plane. See where this position 1, T1 is addressed. You got that. Here's T2. Here's the head of the club. It's toe up, but the shaft is is parallel to the toe line. Now, when you drag it back inside here, now I had this for years, so don't think you're special. 90% of the amateurs have this problem, drag it inside. Now, if you just take it inside, you're going to get it across the line at the top, which means you come down steep, which is the death move. So all of a sudden, you're in a weak position here. So now, good athlete, look, at this point, here's the shaft. It's a blur, but it's right on plane. So, but the movement out here, it was here, and it should be there. So that's like a foot off plane.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, yeah. So, but good athlete, you're now on plane, but the problem is here, watch, you're going to go across the line. Now you're off plane. See this?
I would have suspected that.
Yeah, but so we get to the top at this point, and this guy, look, he keeps that thing right on plane. So there's no wasted movement. So he can get quick in here. There's no compensating movement he needs to make up. So he gets to the top, and look, his arm is on plane. His shaft is still on plane. The club face is on plane. So this is what we'll do is we do this in lessons. So that's the preferred spot. Now, this is a model. It doesn't have to be precisely on, but it has to be within 10%. So don't think it's like cutting diamonds. So we'll capture this picture, and then we'll get that photo for you. Take away. Okay, so then the next position. Now this position is pretty good. This next top position, you had to work real hard to keep it from being way across the line. I mean, only a good athlete can do that. So now you're going to get this picture, and all you do is put it on the mirror, print it out through the mirror, and duplicate him instead of you. Okay, so now you're at the top. You know, the shaft is pointing somewhere in here. Now, when you start down, you really have a good push-off. Lower body, see the lower body kick in. That's why you can play so well. Okay, but when you come in, look, it's too steep. It started steeper. Okay, but then, good athlete, you're now on plane. But you have to go from...
Yeah, that's 3 maneuvers.
Yeah, exactly. And right when... Mid-swing, you've got to go... It's supposed to be green line. You have to go from the red line to the green line. And we know if you're coming down steep, if you don't reroute it, you're going to stick a fork in the ground right below it, or hit it to the left. But you know, good athlete. But you made another a great compensating move. That's on plane. Club's attacking from the inside. But you had to work hard to get there.
Yeah.
You had all these. That's where the inconsistency comes in. Now, when you come in, I like this push-off move. It's really good. And here's the problem. That's why you're hitting off the toe. That's where your ear started, and that's where it is at impact. Yeah. And your butt's coming away from the back wall, so you're coming in like this. You're backing out of it with the head, and the belt's going a little like this. And what the good guys do is they drop it in here, and then they just rotate like this and keep one cheek on the back wall the entire time. Like
that's why I'm a kicker.
No, it's a picker because of the angle of attack. You know, you're shallowing it out, and you're coming in on a shallow thing as opposed to a steep thing. And you know, picking's the way to go if you're over 55. I mean, I try to pick my wedges. You know, I just think it's stricter's the way. Less wear and tear. Okay, so watch his lower body. See, he keeps that on the back wall. So and we're kind of like this.
He's just trying.
Yeah, but when he drops it in, look, it's really weird. So he drops it in his slot. You've got this. Then he gets it right to here. That's where he started, right? So then he gets it in here, and he just unloads like this. You're kind of like that. That's exaggerated, but how much easier would it be just to, you just let gravity drop it into here. Now he just rotates the body through.
Certainly looks easy.
Now, what I like here is, even though the ear backed up, now it's gone forward again to about where it started. But here's the thing that's amazing. Your butt came away from the back wall, but you kept your spine angle. That's brilliant. I mean, only a good athlete can do that. But you had to work to do it, and you got this thing going, which means you can't really clear your left hip. Look at impact.
Yeah, I know you can guess my miss.
Right. Here at impact, you know, I call it the double cheek thing from behind. There's one cheek, there's the other cheek. There's only You don't even have one sheet here. So you're coming in like this. Basically, you have a nice push here. That's great, but you don't have this thing going. And that's where you get distance, direction, and consistency, getting that left hip out of the way. But so if you come in steep and you have this world-class hip turn, what's going to happen? It's going to go left and more left. So you try here, and then that, because you haven't cleared, that hip's in the way, and watch, you're going to have a V at the bottom. So, okay, so this is really good here. This is really good. It exits almost unplane, good enough. Keep your spine angle laid. Keep your axis rotation there. That's really good. So, a lot of good things going on there. Let's see from the other angle. There should be no surprises. Yeah, I mean, it's as good as it can be, given your, let's come away from the back wall. This is a great move here. This is low single digit, this action here. But you really can't get that hip out of the way. So you great in through here, but what the good guys have, they have this, but this is out of the way. So then they can just rotate through. And then you reset it pretty early, but that's understandable. Now, that's your back swing. And sounds like my dog's outside. Okay, so there's the top. Here's the top for this guy. You and I can't get there. We can sure as heck get there, right? See how his right shoulder's disappeared? See how that leg's caved in? So he's wound up more. So I don't know if, well, let me finish recording. So if I were to change anything, I'd get more like him at the top. Let me give you a picture of this. Rich.